So we're going to look at pushing bulk configuration to a number of devices using Atom. So for this, we'll be using command templates, which is pretty handy when we are trying to push just configurations. So for the example, I'm going to take the configuration of NTP and the logging server configuration. So we look at the command template for this. So here you can see it is for Cisco systems, and the iOS system would be the iOS XR. Now, if you go into our command templates, okay, so get into our command template. I show you the template for NTP config. So here I'm trying to configure an ACL, which will have 4 NTP servers. And then I'm going to configure the NTP server using the NTP servers that I take as an input. And then I'm also going to configure the NTP using the access group with the ACL name that I had configured earlier. So you can see that the variables are ACL underscore name and NTP underscore server IP1234, and they're being reused when you're configuring the NTP server as well. So on the right hand side, we can see that there are certain default values for each of the variable that we're using. And next, we look at pushing the syslog configuration. So here you can see that we are configuring a VRF, and the name of the VRF is a variable which we take during runtime, or the default values in case it is not provided. Then we configure the syslog related configuration, and then we will push them into a VRF, taking the hosts as an input during runtime. Okay, so now let's move on to configuring on the devices. So I just select my command template from here, and I have this option to run this. So as soon as I run this, so whatever devices I have onboarded, from that it will filter out the iOS XR devices. So here you can see I have 5 devices here. All right, and let me just bring up the device group as well. We have the device groups, and the device group, if you require this on particular device group, you can do that as well. So for now, I'll just go back to my devices and select multiple devices from here. So I just select 4 devices from here so that we can see the configuration. Now, before I push the configuration, I'm going to go back to my devices and look at the configuration. So I'll look for something like bulk demo, and it says it doesn't have anything related to bulk demo in the configuration. Then I look at the logging configuration, and whatever configuration we have, we'll compare that after pushing the command template as well. Similarly, this is 17.135, this is 134, this is 127, and this is 131. Okay, these are the devices that we're using here. Once that is done, I move on to the command variable. So the command variable, this is the template that I was using, and in that template, I have these rules, right? So you have ACL name. So ACL name, what I'm going to do is, I'll just use it as bulk demo. That's what we were checking for in the configuration, bulk demo, right? And then server, I'm going to use as 10.11.12.13. I'm just giving an example here, 14, 15, 16, right? And let's go for our syslog configuration. So these are the variables that we are defined in NTP config and the syslog config. So for this also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for, again, bulk demo as a VRF name, and host also I'm going to configure as the same thing that we had initially assigned, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so we are using the NTP server as 13, 14, 15, 16, and the syslog host as 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right, let me just go ahead and approve this, or just so that it goes on to push the configuration on the devices. So let's just wait for it to complete, and we will see what commands get generated and whether they are successful or failed. You can see here that it is trying to push the configuration for 4 devices, and all of them are currently in pending state. Let's just wait for it to complete. So for one of the devices, it says it has completed. Let's just go ahead and look at the details. You can see that on 17.135, it tried to push the bulk demo related configuration, I mean the NTP related configuration. And you can see here the configuration that we pushed. Okay, now let me just show the example on 135 how it looks like. So you can see that we have the configuration related to bulk demo, and the VRF of bulk demo is also configured. Now let's look at the NTP server also. Just check the configuration that was pushed, and then we can search accordingly. Okay, no problem. Let's do it this way then. Here you can see the servers that are configured, right? 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we have that configuration pushed on 135. Let's check out the devices also. So it looks like the whole thing is completed. Let's go on to individual devices and check it. You can see the configuration, and let's look at the NTP related configuration. So here also you can see 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And now let's look at the logging one. So here you can see that we have configured on the VRF bulk demo and the logging one bit servers that is to be used, right? So that is also configured. Let's move on to the next device. I'm checking for NTP server. So here you can see the 13, 14, 15, 16 are configured, and there's the IP access list. And now show run Wi-Fi demo. So here you can see the logging and the VRF is also configured. Let's go on to our next device. Run Wi-Fi demo. So this is the logging, this is log related configuration, and the VRF also being configured. And you can see the IP access list also configured. And now run NTP. So you can see here we have configured 13, 14, 15, and 16 also. Right. That's what you can see that using command templates we can configure or push bulk configurations to multiple devices at single go.